This is the SOLIX C1000 portable power station from Anker. It's honestly got a pretty unique presence compared to your typical noisy gas generator. For anyone just tuning in, this is my quick review and personal take on what it's like to live with the C1000, how it feels, how it works, and the few things I wish I'd known up front. So what does it actually look like? The C1000 is like a sturdy, black and gray rectangular box with rounded edges. Picture something about the size of a big toolbox, but much sleeker and with a really clean-looking front panel. You get a nice LCD screen, a bunch of ports for all your stuff, and a bold handle across the top. For its power, it's surprisingly compact, and when you pick it up, you really feel the 28-pound weight, which isn't light, but it's nowhere near as clunky as a gasoline model. I'm able to pick it up myself and move it around, though I admit if you're lugging it and a handful of solar panels, it might be easier with some help. From my experience, the C1000 is friendly for people who are new to backup power stations. If you've never used something like this before, and honestly, I was in that boat not too long ago, here's what you need to know. Key features are what drew me in. A 1056 watt-hour battery, which basically means you can power a mini fridge, laptops, camping gear, even some small kitchen appliances for quite a while before needing to recharge it. There's a surge feature called Surge Pad that lets it briefly support up to 2,400 watts for a powerful startup. For example, if you're plugging in things like power tools or a coffee maker, it can handle those initial spikes of energy. That's something that used to worry me with older power stations, but here it's not a problem. The setup process is actually simple. You basically just unpack it, plug it in to top off the battery, and you're ready to go. It comes with the traditional AC cable for your wall outlet, a car charging cable, and support for solar panels. Speaking of which, I got mine with Anker's 100-watt solar panel. The package also supports up to 400-watt panels if you really want to ramp up your solar game. The panels fold nicely, come with tough handles, and can be set up with adjustable angles to get the best sunlight no matter what time of day it is. Setting up the solar panels takes a little patience, especially if it's windy, but it's nothing too challenging. I do recommend 2 people for setup outdoors, though I've managed by myself just fine for most situations. I appreciate that the cables they provide are long enough so I can keep the actual power station in the shade while the panels are out in the sun. This helps keep the battery from overheating. The charging speed is actually one of the biggest perks. If you use your wall outlet and activate UltraFast Recharging in the Anker app, you can go from 0 to 80% charged in under 45 minutes, and a full charge is under an hour. I was a little skeptical when I read that in the specs, but in reality, it's pretty much spot on. It means the station isn't tied up for hours between uses. If you're running on solar only, of course it depends on the sunlight available, but the panels are impressively efficient, even when it's cloudy. Anker says up to a 23% solar conversion, and from what I see here, it handles gray days better than you'd expect. One of my favorite parts has to be the app. I know lots of folks prefer to avoid extra apps, but in this case, the Anker app is worth installing. Through Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, you can check battery status, see your current input-output, schedule charging times, and even play around with power settings for different ports. For example, you can manage the built-in LED strip on the front for camping, super useful if you're outside after dusk, or you can turn on UltraFast Recharging directly from your phone. It's so much easier than the old-school just press and hope method you get on gas models. I like having that extra control. Now, what about using it? The output options are really flexible. On the C1000, you get 6 AC outlets, 2 USB-C and 2 USB-A ports, and a 12-volt car port. The AC outlets are the 3-prong grounded type you see on basically everything bigger than a phone charger. I've personally used this station during short power outages at home, running my Wi-Fi router, a lamp, even my fridge. No sweat. The only time I felt it straining was with a space heater, which I admit is pushing your luck if you're trying to run it nonstop. So, is this going to replace a full home gas generator? Not for really long outages, but for one-day blackouts, truck camping, or day-long events where you want reliable, clean power, I'd recommend this for pretty much anyone. I was a bit concerned about battery life at first, mostly because I've dealt with old battery tech that loses capacity fast. Anker says this life before battery is rated for over 3,000 full cycles, which if you recharge it daily, would still last about a decade. Unlike older lithium-ion batteries, life before is more stable and safer, and I noticed almost no loss of charge even after letting it sit in the closet for 6 months. That really surprised me, in a good way. The longevity alone keeps me from worrying about my investment getting wasted after just a couple years. There are downsides. I have to be honest, the fan noise when charging at full speed is noticeable. It's not as loud as a gas engine, but you wouldn't want this sitting next to your bed overnight. If you're using it outdoors or in your garage, you probably won't care though. Weight-wise, at just under 28 pounds, nobody's going to confuse this with a pocket gadget, but it is manageable and a lot easier than filling up a gas can and fussing with oil. You don't get a 30-amp RV plug either, so for RV users, you might need an adapter. The cost is also something to consider. The upfront price, especially with good solar panels, isn't cheap, but if you factor in never needing gas, oil, or yearly maintenance, it starts to pay off, especially if you value quick setup and quiet use. I'm also really happy with how solid it feels. The design isn't just nice to look at, the plastics and rubber points on the handles, feet, and corners all feel like they're built to take knocks and last for years. There's one light strip integrated for emergencies or camping situations, and plenty of ventilation so it won't cook itself even running close to max output. The display is bright and easy to read, even under sunlight. In my opinion, this station is perfect for campers, people prepping for short power outages, or anyone needing portable power for tailgating, parties, or even job sites where you don't want to run a loud engine. If you live in an apartment and can't use gas, or you just like the idea of clean, easy backup electricity for your essentials, there's a lot going for this. If you're on the fence, I'd say base your choice on your actual power needs. Larger home appliances, stuff like dryers, big heaters, or whole house air conditioners will still be out of reach for a station this size. But laptops, phones, lights, electric grills, cameras, and even small fridges are fair game. For my own lifestyle, it's become almost a comfort just knowing it's ready in the closet or trunk. In conclusion, the SOLIX C1000 portable power station really bridges the gap between the old, dirty gas units and the new wave of smart, clean, easy-to-use battery stations. Long life, quick charging, loads of useful ports, and an intuitive app. All the main things I look for are here. I can't say it's perfect if you've got massive backup power needs, but for most people, I'm talking campers, renters, small homeowners, or just anyone who wants modern backup power, they're going to be happy with it. If you've got questions or want to hear more about my hands-on experiences with the C1000 or the solar panels, drop a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe for more real-life quick reviews, and thank you for watching.